Hey everybody, welcome back to Adult RC. This is your host, Angry Dave. Get the kids out of earshot, go grab yourself a nice frosty adult beverage, and let's start wrenching on some fucking RCs. We're back with the UDR Super Scale project here, moving along quite nicely. So here's the parts we're going to use to make the exhaust pipe. We've got some 3/8 steel brake line right here. Got some 3/8 stainless steel washers we're going to use for the trim rings on the outside of the body, and fabbed up a couple of steel tabs to mount it to the truck. They're going to mount right here with this existing hole, and this hole above that I punched out there puts the center of the pipe about 1 1/8 up above the rocker panel, which should give us a good position on the outside of the body. So all we have to do is take the brake line and cut down a couple lengths and then weld it onto the tabs where the marks are, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint the tabs black so that those kind of fade in if you're looking up through the fender well, so you can't really see them. And we're going to punch 4 holes in these washers and use some little screws and nuts to attach them to the body. So let's go ahead and get bucking around with that. Okay, so here we got the pipe welded onto the tab, and put a little masking tape on there so that I could put the body over it and not scratch the paint off the inside of the body. Reached up in there with a marker and marked the inside of the body. Next thing I'm going to do is punch the hole in the Lexan. So here we are, almost finished. I got my washers on both sides after I punched out the hole in the Lexan, and drilled 4 holes so I could screw it to the body. And it's not quite done, but it's pretty close. I'm going to take the body, I can't fucking talk. I'm going to take the body back off, shoot a little bit of clear coat on the pipe because it's just bare steel and it'll rust. The washers are zinc coated, so they should be okay. I tried using stainless steel, but they were rock fucking hard, and I couldn't get a goddamn drill bit through them without massive bullshit, so I bailed on that fucking nonsense. And the cold, standard steel with just the zinc coating was a hell of a lot easier to drill. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and shoot a little clear coat on the pipes, and then put a little flat black paint on the inside so they look like they've been run a little bit, and that should fucking do it. I think they came out pretty good. Looks appropriate on the side of the truck there. There we go. Every little bit of fucking scale helps. Things getting fucking badder and badder. Got a few more parts that are on the way, and we'll be fucking ripping this thing in no time and fucking all this work up. So we got a lead installed here into the receiver box so that I can plug and unplug the lights when I take the body on and off without having to get in here. And we installed the Y connector for the ESC and the sound kit. Now, one of the issues I ran into was they got this truck pretty packed with shit, so it was kind of difficult trying to find somewhere to put the sound kit. I did find a spot. It's going to go right up here between the shock towers. But I had to fabricate a bunch of stuff because there's not really any kind of sheeting or flat surfaces or anything like that to attach the fucking thing to. And I don't want to just Velcro it in because this truck's going to get its ass kicked and the thing will break loose and be bouncing around in there. It'll be fucked up in no time. So, if I can find it through all the shit on the bench here. We got this nice little sheet metal plate we fabricated. And that's going to drop right down in there. That'll screw on with some existing screws that hold the I think they hold the differential in there. They might be part of the suspension. I don't fucking know. They're screws. They do the job. That plate will also bolt right to the bottom of the Sense Innovations S Dual Sound Kit. And then the other issue that I ran into here is that sound kit is not waterproof. So if I go blasting through a deep-ass puddle or a bunch of mud, water's going to splash in through here, up over the top, in through the front here, and just going to fucking soak the thing. So, we made a Lexan cover that goes on top of the front chassis piece, and that's going to be Velcroed on so it can be lifted up. I'll still be able to reach up under the body and adjust the volume without having to take the body off, which is nice. And I also made a little holder on the front here for a little 2S LiPo that I'm going to use to run the run the sound kit so that I'm not draining drive battery. And then I got this Lexan shield that's going to bolt down under the sound kit, and that should fill, oh, let me get in the fucking camera shot here, that should fill the rest of the holes and at least keep the largest volumes of water away from the sound kit. It might get a few drops on it. Matter of fact, I can just about guarantee it's going to get a few drops on it, but hopefully it can take a few drops. I know for a fact it won't be able to take a fucking drenching. So let's get screwing this shit in the truck and see how it all fits. There we go. Bolted in there nice and easy. Got the Lexan tucked up under the tabs there for the upper frame. Got the front part here, goes right up over the sway bar. And then once the front of the chassis here, there's a big cover plate right there. So like I said before, it's not completely sealed, but it should keep all the major splashing off. And then once you're down here, you can lift up on the wheel, and I should be able to reach up over there and bat at the volume controls with the body installed. So that'll make life a little bit easier. So the next thing I got to do, I guess, is go ahead and install the last detail, which is the window nets here from Murad RC. I love Murad RC. I run their shock socks on my slashes and stuff like that. Keeps all the shit out of the shocks. And lets you go quite a bit longer in between having to rebuild them or repair them or clean all the fucking nasty old dirty oil out of them. So they had the best looking set of window nets I could find. And I already like their products anyway. So there you go. There's window net version 2. They have another version that goes on here and covers this little quarter piece too, kind of unnecessary. I'm guessing they probably figured that out too. That's why this is version 2 and that was version 1. Nothing magical to this, just screws in using some existing holes. Comes with screws, a little bag of screws in there. We'll go ahead and turn some of those screws and get that on. Yeah, there we go, looking pretty good. Next thing we're going to do after this is I'm going to drag this thing over by the computer and run over to Sense Innovation's website and get the sound programmed in here, and then come back and do the calibration, and then we can start put the interior back in, start closing up this fucking chassis. Okay, so to get this thing calibrated, you got to do some trigger pulling, and I don't want to be jacking this thing up and trigger pulling while it's on the bench. That just sounds like a recipe for fucking disaster. So I got a spare speed control plugged in here that I can use a single battery to run. That way I can hit the trigger forward, backward as much as I want. I don't have to worry about having this truck go flying and make a fucking disaster in the shop. So first thing we're going to do is switch on the controller. Then we're going to switch on the speed control, and it will work the steering. I got the little battery attached here. Alright, so now, if I understand this correctly, you hold this for a second. Then you hit it once for neutral. Then you full throttle for a second, and then hit it again, and then you full reverse for a second, and then hit it, full reverse for a second, okay, that didn't work. So let's start over again, possibly. What the fuck? Alright, yeah, I'm just a fucking moron. You have to push the buttons while you're still holding the trigger in the positions, obviously, except for neutral. So now when I tickle this throttle a little bit, it should come on. Yeah, buddy. Kick ass. We got fucking sound. So now that we got the sound kit installed and working properly, I start stuffing the cage back in here, put the interior insert back in. We got the nets really starting to look nice and complete and detailed out. Shit's coming along pretty good. So all I got to do is Get the window mesh back in there. Put in a bunch of screws and stick the body back on here. And we're ready to fucking rock this bitch. I can't wait to take it outside and get a little dirt on it. It'll actually help the realism until I start breaking shit off. And that's the first runs of the Traxxas UDR. The reason we played music over it is because the fucking piece of shit S-Dual sound kit decided it doesn't want to work for no goddamn reason. So we'll see what the fuck's going on with that for the next episode. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already. And remember, Adult RC, where grown-up time is playtime.